From physically assaulting a teenage boy to getting an 8-game suspension for showing off his gun at a strip club, just in the last few months, Morant has had more scandals than athletes have had in their whole careers. There have been unofficial reports about how the Grizzlies' point guard has a tendency towards violent behavior. But the real trouble started when the reports first came out earlier this year, stating that Morant had physically assaulted a teenage boy. Now, this incident actually occurred back in the summer of 2022, but it had remained largely unreported by the mainstream media until now. The 17-year-old boy claimed that he got into an argument with the two-time NBA All-Star during a friendly game at a court near Morant's home. He claimed that Morant struck him so hard that it actually left a knot on the side of his head. And then, the Grizzlies man ran back into his home and re-emerged with a gun.
Basketball player.
Like Memphis Grizzly John Morant.
Grizzly John Morant, yeah.
So grown man just hit you in the face.
Yeah.
And a grown friend.
Yeah. They jumped me.
Why?
I think because we was talking, his dad, he didn't want to take a lightly on it. It was like, just because that's him, don't take a lightly on him. So, we playing competitive, talking trash to each other.
Yeah.
Basketball players too.
Which he used to threaten the teenager. Following this, other reports also started coming in, where Morant had been accused of violent behavior. But the real cherry on top was Morant showing off his gun at a Colorado strip club. While everyone wasn't done digesting the news of the point guard beating up a young child, an Instagram live video became viral, where he could be seen showing off a gun while intoxicated out of his mind in a Glendale strip club. At this point, there hadn't been any serious action taken against the two-time NBA All-Star. Now, getting into an altercation with a 17-year-old boy might not have gotten him into any serious trouble, but he's not going to get lucky like that every time. This latest video could possibly end up costing him millions. Once this video became viral, it was clear that the 23-year-old wouldn't get away with a slap on his wrist. So, after quite some deliberation, the NBA suspended him without pay for 8 games. Morant's salary for the 2022-2023 season is reportedly $12.1 million. So the 8-game ban amounts to him losing a total of $668,659. Suspensions without pay aren't as uncommon as you might think in the NBA. However, Morant's suspension was the second most costly one this season, after Kyrie Irving's suspension by the Brooklyn Nets earlier, which cost the former Cleveland man $2 million. But for Morant, it's not going to end here. The impact of Morant's suspension might actually go well beyond this season. The two-time NBA All-Star is currently in the last year of his rookie contract. In line with his stature in the NBA, his salary has also improved each season, from $8.7 million in 2019 to $12.1 million this season. However, prior to the start of the season, the 29-year-old actually agreed to an extension with the Memphis franchise. His extension is worth $194 million over a period of 5 years. Now, this amount can possibly increase up to $233 million if he wins a Defensive Player of the Year award or the MVP award, or manages to win himself an All-NBA selection this year. He's one of the most explosive players in the league. There's no doubt about that. Besides being a great scorer, he's got that X factor about him. He can dominate the game on his own, and the pace at which he attacks can often make him unstoppable. But let's be honest, he won't be winning the MVP or the Defensive Player of the Year award this season. It would have been difficult even if he had played all the games. But after missing 8 games through a suspension, it's almost impossible now, because there are players who have performed better than him this season, both offensively and defensively. So then he's left with one hope: a spot on one of the 3 All-NBA teams. The only realistic way, even though it looks beyond reach at this point, would be for Morant to get a place on one of the 3 All-NBA teams. However, that's definitely easier said than done. There are just 6 guard spots that are up for grabs, and there are a lot of good guards in the NBA right now. Guards who haven't shot themselves in the foot this season by getting suspended for 8 games. Just to give you some context, some of the guards that he'd be competing with for one of these spots are Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, James Harden, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, and Devin Booker. Now, it's hard enough to beat these guys when you play all the games, so you can imagine how difficult it would be with them getting an 8-game head start on you. I don't know about you, but I'd say that he'll probably fall short of an All-NBA spot this year. Regardless of what happens with the All-NBA teams, Morant will definitely end up making a boatload of money. However, losing nearly $40 million should definitely teach him a lesson or two. Nothing hits you like a big dent in your income. And if Morant ends up losing out on the nearly $40 million he could have gotten with an All-NBA spot, he would definitely regret acting as recklessly as he did, especially after losing out on his ad campaign with Powerade, the largest campaign in the company's history. However, ads with Morant in them were wiped off the internet once the Instagram video of the Grizzlies point guard went viral. A big company like Powerade would definitely never risk its reputation by having someone like Morant lead an ad campaign for one of its brands. If Morant doesn't clean up his act, other brands might also follow. But then again, seeing the stuff he's done recently isn't very promising when it comes to his reputation. So yeah, the young star might be on his way to losing some serious money in the future, because for NBA stars, getting sponsors is as crucial for their careers as their official paycheck. And seeing the 23-year-old struggle with his success and fame, one can't help but think, is he capable of handling his success? Every year, so many new players make the step up to the biggest basketball league in the world. Most of them turn out to be decent players with decent careers. This is probably why we often forget how difficult it is to actually make it in this league. No amount of talent can make up for the challenges you will have to go through to survive in this league, let alone become a superstar like Morant. And let's be clear, the Memphis Grizzlies man is probably one of the most talented players to come through the NBA in the last 10 years. But things haven't come easy for him, you've gotta admit. He has had to work his socks off to produce the kind of results he's getting on the basketball courts. But then again, the criticism being directed at him is also kind of understandable. While he has developed into one of the most highly regarded players in the NBA, he definitely hasn't acted like one in recent times. This is sad because he's just 23 and has his whole career in front of him. Having won the NBA's Most Improved Player award in 2022, it really looked like the point guard would go on to become an MVP-level player in the league. And with the Grizzlies doing so well in the league lately, Morant could possibly be looking at some serious silverware in the coming years, had he not been so reckless. Let's just hope the NBA doesn't end up losing a talent like this. That was all about Ja Morant's suspension and what it might end up costing him.